They will always, because if you haven't done sales before, the thing is, how do you even talk to people? How do you get them interested? How do you even approach them? And that is the easy part. Mustering that courage, that liver, that energy to actually approach a person, somebody who you've been seeing or who you've been trying to speak to talk to for a long time, and you're not able to talk to that person. Eventually, one day, whether you have been trained to do so or you haven't been trained, one day you muster the energy, you muster the liver, and you actually go and speak to that person. I say to that person, "Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. My name is Angelo. I sell real estate." You've practiced. Probably you haven't been to any training. You stood in front of your mirror. You did the rehearsals. I need to talk to this person. No be human being, no get to it. I must talk to her. Whether it is in church or at work or at a gathering or a social event, wherever. You meet the person, you now approach the person. After you have said all of that, and the person says, "Okay," and you tell him, "I have lands, I have houses, I have whatever, everything, anything real estate, mention it, I have it. Choose your location, let me know, I'll get you." The man now says to you that, "Okay, good to know." He's actually very nice to you, and you're surprised that you're able to access such a person, and the thing is going well. After that access, he now says, "Okay, we'll keep in touch." And he leaves, and you leave. The next time you see the person, how will you approach the person? That is the follow-up now. Even if you don't see that person, it's one day after that meeting, 2 days, 3 days, you begin to ask yourself, what am I supposed to do next? You have no idea. You don't know where to proceed from. You've made that first meeting, you've gone to her, you've talked to her. I've told her that, yes, I deal in real estate. She says, "Oh, that's nice to know." And after that time, I walk away, she walks away. And I'm happy. It was a success. But what next? How do I call her? Should I call her phone? Should I send her a text message? Should I go to her office if I know where her office is? Should I go to her house? If there's an event, I know she's going to be here. Should I be there? How should I do it? Should I walk up and just ask her about where we pick up from where we stopped last time? Or do I send a message? How? Or do I make it an accidental meeting? The questions are too numerous. So, this is it. Most of your business prospective customers will not buy instantly. They rarely do. You don't just meet a person and you close the transaction on the spot. You have to have reached some level of expertise before you'll be able to do that. You don't just introduce someone to products and services and then they just go and buy. They have to think about it. Sometimes they actually need to think, sometimes they don't, but they just say that. If you expect that they will go the rest of the way by themselves, you're making a mistake. They need what you have to offer. They need it. They want it. But will they proceed on their own and conclude that relationship? No way. First point of contact is important, of course. And, like I said, if you come to sales, if you haven't done sales before, you're scared of the whole concept of sales. That first point of contact is very important, but it is one of the easiest steps. You've finally managed to meet the person. Sometimes in meeting that person, your nerves fail you, but this time your nerves didn't fail you and you had a fruitful discussion. But how do you move? You never get a second chance to make a good first impression. So, with all that standing in front of your mirror to do practice, and I tell you, do you know when I want to stand in front of the mirror and do practice, I do it naked. Yeah. Do you know why? Remember, you're in your house. Only you are seeing yourself. You're naked in front of the mirror. So it's like there's nothing for you to hide. If you're making mistake, you're seeing yourself as yourself. You're not blaming the clothes you're wearing. You're not blaming the makeup. You're not blaming your wig. You're not blaming your wristwatch, your shoe. Nothing. You are there as yourself. So you will be very clear. I don't know if you guys understand me. It's really important when you want to, if you really want to help yourself, learn to stand in front of your mirror naked and do your practice. If you want to say truth to yourself, stand in front of your mirror naked and talk to yourself. Because you're looking at yourself there. And there is no distraction. But you're telling yourself everything you need to tell yourself. And that time, it sinks in. It really does. You should try it sometime. I tell you, it really does. Now, many sales will make the mistake of crafting the perfect sales email, holding a great meeting, running a fantastic product demo, and then sitting back and doing nothing. Why? Because they don't know how to proceed. They are scared that, the wrong step. They might make the fourth step when it's time for the third step. They're scared. And it's true. So if you're guilty of this, you might need to perfect your sales follow-up. Let's go ahead and then we'll learn. What is a sales follow-up? This is what you do after the initial pitch. Remember, the initial pitch is when you have met the prospect. You've talked to the prospect. Let the prospect know what you do. Giving the prospect options. You've done all of that. That's the initial sales pitch. And then, how do you make the prospect to take action? Remember, when the prospect takes action, the deal is closed. So you've done the first meeting. What are all the steps in between until the deal is closed? That is where the question mark, the big question mark, comes in. Most common methods are telephone and email and WhatsApp. If you're talking to someone who works in a corporate environment, email is very good for them. They love emails. That's how they keep track. A corporate person is constantly checking their email. You can be sure of that. If you're talking to somebody who works in an office, email is one very beautiful way to reach them. And they will even tell you sometimes, send me an email. They're not saying WhatsApp. They're not saying the SMS. They're saying, send me an email. And that doesn't end there. But if you're talking to someone who is not, that doesn't mean there's only corporate people that use emails. So. But usually, they are the ones. Now, you're talking to other people who work for themselves or who work in the informal sector. It's that WhatsApp and SMS that they value. If you're talking to someone who is an older generation kind of person, what they value is SMS. But if you're talking to a younger person, what they value is WhatsApp. Because they're almost always on their phones and they're on social media. And WhatsApp is one veritable way to get people's attention. People are constantly checking their WhatsApp. If you recollect, when I shared the volume of users on different social media platforms as of January this year, Facebook was tops. WhatsApp came in, I think, third place. If you guys remember, WhatsApp was third. About 3 billion people, no, 2.8 or thereabout billion people use WhatsApp every day. In fact, WhatsApp is one of the least data consuming of all the social media platforms. Consumes one of the least. So it's easy. Even when your data is not enough to launch your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube, and all the rest, WhatsApp messages will still be dropping on your phones and you'll still be sending messages. So, you see, I'm giving you guys a clue as to areas where it will be easy for you to meet people. Now, mastering your sales follow-up skill is critical for reps. But the challenge here is People learn it and yet they don't follow up enough. Once you learn this, you need to put it into use if you want it to pay off for you. And if you're putting it into use, it's only a matter of time before it becomes second nature for you. And once it becomes second nature, everything just flows automatically. A study done by Brevet. Brevet is a research company, just like all this, like this gorilla questionnaire kind of thing, that will give you surveys to fill. Brevet did a study. 80% of sales, and Brevet specializes mostly on business and sales, questionnaires and surveys and stuff. 80% of sales require an average of 5 follow-ups in order to close the deal. On the average, you follow up 5 times before you close a deal. There are people who can meet somebody, talk to the person will buy on the spot. There are those, it happens. But on the average, it takes about 5 follow-ups after that initial pitch before the deal is closed. But 44% of sales reps follow up with prospect only once and then they give up. Remember, you've had a nice first meeting with a prospect. The meeting was very nice. You enjoyed it. It was okay. The person interacted with you very well. And then you now call the person on phone and the person is not very welcoming. Immediately you get scared, you lose hope, and you give up. You send the person a WhatsApp message and it's like, hello, do I know you? And you just run away and you give up. You won't attempt again. Or you won't meet the person face to face and you're smiling, trying to catch the person's eyes so people can greet. And the person just looks through you. The next thing you say, this one will embarrass me if I go near him. And you run away. But guess what? Salespeople never ever give up. You're meant to constantly be on your prospects. You see, when it comes to hearing no's, a salesperson, maybe that's why salespeople are really good toasters. They're used to hearing no's. You can tell a salesperson no. Yeah, it's a part of life now. Just get up and try again. If a lady complains so much about the things I have said, I just think about it. Okay, I'll make amends. I'll still go back and I'll try that lady, and then I'll still try other ladies. And that's the way it goes. You get used to hearing no. And once you get used to hearing no, you're getting better at what you do. That's what salespeople do. A no does not stop a salesperson. No. Then, after about 4 follow-ups, 94% of salespeople have given up. Meanwhile, they need average of 5 follow-ups. But by the time they do 1, they do 2, they do 3, they do 4, they're giving up. They're not able to push through. They feel that there's no point. Whereas, I don't know if you guys have seen that picture. Two people were digging, mining, just with their axe in the hole, digging. And one of them comes, strikes gold, hits a diamond. And he's so happy that he has hit the diamond. And the other person, just after that, behind that rock, were like about 5 diamonds. This person got only 1 and he's happy. Behind the rock, if he had struck once more, he would have opened, he would have seen 5 diamonds. He felt that, no, I'm digging the wrong side. Though. He left his own place. When that person took his 1 diamond and went away, he went over the other way and started digging there. And at the end of the day, didn't get nothing. He just walked away from 5 diamonds. And that's the way it goes. A lot of salespeople walk away at that point. But you need to be one of the resilient ones. I have leads I've had for years. I still will, from time to time, I'll still go back to them. To send them a message. To chat with them. Just ask them general nice questions. Sometimes they'll see something on my timeline, they'll ask me about it. Some won't still buy. Eventually, 1 or 2 will still be converted. Never ever let go. 92% of sales pros give up after the 4th call, but 80% of prospects say no 4 times before they say that big yes. No, remember I said it. You need about 5 follow-ups. They've said no to you 4 times. The next thing they are meant to say is yes. And you give up at that point. You are the loser. Another person, another sales rep that has a product that's probably not as good as yours will come and close that deal and take over from there. This is the reason reticence. Reticence, over follow-up is understandable. These salespeople are very aware that their profession can carry a reputation for being pushy or aggressive. You don't want to be seen as annoying or not taking the hint, so you simply stop following up. At one time, I told a story in class when I was in the corporate world, and I was working at Port Harcourt then, and I had salespeople under me. I think I told that story, and one lady in class said he knows that guy. That guy's name I called Johnson that day. This guy was really, really pushy. If that guy comes to you and says, come and buy insurance, and you tell him, I don't have money, or just to make him go, it's okay, next time. Tomorrow, or that next time, he will come back to you. I taught him that. He will come back to you. The next day, he will come back to you. You are upset. One day, you will shout at him. He will not say, don't be angry now. I'm only trying to make a sale. And besides, this insurance will be good for you. Or at least do savings now. You will be upset. But because the more you're upset, the more he's apologizing. He's coming down, but he's not letting you go. That's your anger. Sometimes you can walk away from him. He will be there waiting for you to come back. That's him. But by the time you come back, you now look and say, okay, what will I do with this guy? Okay, what do you even have? He will tell you, give you the options. Oh yeah, I will do this, even if it's the lowest of the things he has, you chose. But what has he succeeded in doing? He has closed a deal. And that was how that guy became the highest, sales rep among all his peers. That guy listened, put it into practice. I will get complaints. I told you guys I was getting complaints. Johnson is aggressive. He's too pushy. How can he get to the office? He's afraid. After they have said all of that, at the end of the year, when we were now looking for who to give the award for the best sales rep, the same clients that we contacted, that were complaining, we sent surveys to them of all the salespeople we have. Who is the best? Majority of them chose Johnson without blinking. Do you see? The same people who will complain are the same people saying, you're a good person. So you see, all that complaints, all that, you're too pushy, you're too aggressive, why are you always pushing this thing? All of that thing is them trying to test you. They are trying to test you to see whether you are resilient, to see whether you can continue, or to see whether you're a reticent person. Because if you're reticent, after they do these things to you, you will just give up. Yes. Yeah, reticence, it's like you need to not be reticent. When you're reticent, you easily give up. You have to be, constantly on the matter. You don't let go. You keep at it. You understand? So it gets tiring. Reticence basically is you're tired of a thing. You're looking for an excuse already to give up, and you give up. You see it as the wahala self. That man now, if I go call her now, he go begin the holler. If I go call her now, he go leave with now they talk about, begin toast me. If I go call her now, he go tell me say he busy. There are so many things that a prospect can say. But you are taking those things and using them as an excuse to be laid back. Now, number one reason a prospect won't get back to you is not because they are not interested, it's because they are busy. According to Harvard Business Review, professionals juggle on an average 200 emails / WhatsApp in their box at any one time. Even us, as real estate salespeople, we belong to so many groups. You see the number of WhatsApp things, messages dropping in your phones. And I can bet you there are some that you don't even read. A lot, actually, you don't even read. So you're busy. Whether you're doing anything with your time or not, but you just don't have the energy to read them. But if something is truly important to you, you will read them. So they're probably not ignoring you because they don't want what you have to offer. You see that? They're not ignoring you because they don't want what you're offering. You just need to be tenacious to get their attention because they have a lot going on. Techniques to do the follow-up. After those 2 or 3 follow-up emails, after that initial meeting, and you heard nothing and you're worried, what do? It may be time to pick up the phone. Do you understand? You've tried email. Remember, this is variety, one of the follow-up methods. You've tried, after the first meeting, you sent him an email. He doesn't respond. You now send some WhatsApp messages. It doesn't respond. Carry your phone, call her. Wait till 1 year. May not tell you anything, but at least you've heard his or her voice. You try again. You keep doing variety. If possible, if you know where he goes for lunch. Don't like saying a mistake, carry you reach there. Do you understand? Variety. Don't always use one method, because if you use one method and you don't get a feedback from that method, try another method. Now, don't stop at just telephone and email either. Track someone down on every platform you can think of. Do you see that? Track that prospect down. In fact, make the man say begin to wonder, say, I feel come out, open my door for my house like this, jam this guy, you. On the other hand, if a person specifies a particular method of communication, respect that. And you won't enjoy yourself if you keep calling them after they have said they like to do business by email or WhatsApp. You meet a prospect, you had a chat with that person. During that chat, the person tells you, okay, send me WhatsApp messages. I don't really like to receive phone calls except for XYZ purposes. But with you, send me a WhatsApp message. I'll go through it and I'll get back to you. That person has said that, and you send WhatsApp messages and it's communicating. And maybe you get to a point, you send one, it doesn't respond. You send the second one, it doesn't respond. Then you now start calling. He will get upset now. Do you know why he will get upset? Because he has said to you clearly, don't call. You should leave that calling to such a time that there has been a lacuna. That's a huge gap. That you now know that, oh, something is wrong. I have to do something out of the ordinary to reach this person. That's when you should make a call, under that circumstance. But if the communication has not gone bad, you should reach out. Space it out. That's another thing about follow-up. If you're following up with somebody, you have to give the person gap. You send one, give the person space to read and digest and, at least to absorb whatever information you have given them. Give them time to digest it, and then give you a feedback. Not the one you just be following up. You call somebody, you send a WhatsApp message, the person reads it. You send the next one, you do an SMS. The next one after that, you start to make phone calls. You're bombarding the person, and the person is seeing it. It will go from, oh, I appreciate that you're following up well, to you're becoming a problem. They can block you on all the platforms, so you know. So you have to be pushy, but space it out. Remember, be pushy. Now, may they tell you, be pushy, but space it out. Don't let them give them too much gap. Don't make it too close. Just give them gap to go through what you have sent to them and then follow up again. Quickest way to annoy his prospects, put them up is not following up too many times. It's spacing your follow-ups too closely together. no gap. Purchasing decisions often move slowly. Even more so when the product or service is of substantial value. Decisions to purchase land or real estate is not a small one. Yeah. So you have to allow them room. And besides, some people like to consult before they take their decision. There are people who, on their own, they know what they want and they will take their decisions. They have their money, they are the man. They have the money, the authority, and the need. Whatever you do in sales, you see this man, consider it. This is the bedrock of sales. Anybody, any prospect that you're dealing with, you must be able to qualify that prospect in terms of these three things: money, authority, and need. If the person embodies all three, in fact, even a man, a full-grown man, elderly, married, might have money and the need and have no authority. The authority might lie with the wife. It's not that he can't take his decision and buy it too, but make him buy and now, make him come house, come sleep. You understand? 3, provide value with each follower. Yes, you're a salesperson. Your prospects don't want to feel as though they are on the receiving end of an aggressive sales pitch. You are aggressive, yes, but even as you are in the midst of that aggression, you need to give them value. There's a feeling that a person, and it's a feeling, that value is a feeling now. The value is not a physical thing. The person has to feel that each time I communicate with Joy, for instance, I get some new information, I get some new thing I didn't know about that I'll know. I get some new possibilities that she has opened my eyes to. For instance, now, the person might be thinking, how do I even do this? And maybe Joy now calls and speaks to the person, and in the course of speaking, Joy says, look, if you don't have all the money at once, you can do installment payment. Do you know that's value? Because that man might not have the full money to pay at once. Maybe that's what has been keeping him from closing the deal. But the minute Joy says, oh, you can do installment, you can pay off your land in 2 or 3 installments, or even up to 6 installments. And the man looks like, really? It's value. Because he was thinking, I have to have the full money before I can actually buy. You've given him value. You can tell him, oh, I know you love corner pieces, so we only have about 3 corner pieces left. You need to move on time so that you can at least get the corner piece that you want. And the man says, wow, thank you for that information. It could be that he has the money, he's probably been doing other things first and says to himself, I'll come to this matter later. And because you've given him that information that the corner piece will soon be sold out, he now decides to move faster. I'm giving you instances of value you can provide a person. And you can say, oh, you see this Ekpe we're talking about, the 4th mainland bridge is going to drop there. And the person says, 4th mainland bridge, from where? It will begin from Ikorodu, it will drop at so place, come to the island, it will drop at island, it will drop at Lekki, it will drop at Badore, and then finally culminates at Ekpe. And he says, wow, that means that place, the price of land there will soon go up. Okay, that's also value. So you see, value you can give to a prospect might help them make a decision. And there's a way that you can be giving them information such that before that prospect would make any purchase decision, they won't tell you, but they will call you to get your opinion about a certain area, especially if they find out that you're quite knowledgeable. That's why you need to have your information right. You need to have information right. If maybe Lagos State government is set to demolish in a certain area, and because of your speaking with the client, say, oh, like, for instance, now Lagos State government is planning to go demolish XYZ area, just like they did last month. So don't think of that area, this area they are demolishing for XYZ reasons. And you give that person that kind of value. That person will value it. You never can tell Whether your property is not the only one that on the table before him. Maybe another one in that area to be demolished is before him. And he didn't know this information. And you didn't know, but because you know, and because you're trying to give him value, you give him this information. He will know that you know what you are doing. Now, hard selling simply does not work anymore. You can get better results by engaging the prospect with each follow-up and ensuring you provide them with value. I've given us numerous examples of how you can give value. So in other words, it's not about you or even about your product. It's about them. It's about your prospects. If you make your sales pitch about your prospect, you're on your way to winning. But when you don't make it about them and you think it's about you, every time you go, our land is 600 square meter, you will have amenities such as drainage, tarred roads, street light, there'll be electricity. You're making it about your products or you're making it about yourself. But if you make it about them, sometimes you listen to them. Do you have any constraints, sir? What are your challenges, ma? Is it financial? Is it a decision? Is there something else that you're worried about? Ask them sometimes. You'll be shocked. You will be shocked. Sometimes you ask prospects some questions about the things that are holding them back. They will tell you. But the challenge we have? We don't listen enough. I guess we have done the art of listening already in this class. That listening, you need to open your ears, because I tell you, most times, the first time you meet with a prospect, the first time, and you tell them about your product, all the objections they're going to have about your product are said on that first meeting. Subsequently, they might not say it again. And if you don't pick it that first time, you will be talking with them, you won't know that you're not getting anywhere. But you see, that's why I say, if you're going for a meeting, go with a pen and paper. So that as they're saying things to you, if they're saying things you like, itemize them. I like Ekwe. Ekwe has fish market. Oh, good. You note it. So that when you're sending them information about Ekwe, you're trying to bring that fish market to play in a good way. Are you with me? Now, if they tell you that, that site itself, I never know when development will reach there, note it. Their fear is the time it will take before the area becomes developed. So that when you're sending him emails, give him options. You see, one thing you shouldn't do is lie. Don't go and tell him the place will develop in the next 2-3 years. That a lot of realtors talk rubbish. So I buy in the next 2-3 years. They don't buy. 5 years ago they bought. The position never changed. Instead, bush don't even grow more. Let them know that land purchase is never a bad decision. Does not appreciate today, it's still appreciating there. But however, development has not come enough to the area for you to sell it off easily. Because that land that they bought 5 years ago for 500,000 can't still be 500,000 anymore. They're still gaining value on it. Even though it's still bush. All these areas where we are now, one time they were all bush. I remember when I was in secondary school, I grew up in the mainland. Then, we came to Eleko Beach. That it was a big do to come to Eleko Beach back then from mainland. It must be an event well prepared for. They will cook. We had to plan it over some, terms in school then. And then get a bus. Before the bus now took us, it was like a journey forever. All the places were all bush, And this is the same road, except for now that they've widened the road and changed it. That road that was there before this, it was the same road and it was all bush all the way until we got to Eleko Beach. And even during that period, when I was still younger then, I would sneak out, and even though I wasn't old enough to attend, Reggae Sunsplash. I don't know if people remember when they used to do Reggae Sunsplash at Jack on the Lekki Beach back then. I was very young then. I wasn't supposed to attend. But we wanted to hear what. We will find we go do that and no send us. And God, now just no let us lost. We'll sneak out, we'll attend it. That time, all these areas were bush. But people already owned them back then. I happened to see somebody's deed of assignment. You know how much the person bought a land for back then? 90 naira for a plot of land. 90. Bought 2 plots for 150 naira. You know how much he wanted to sell it by the time he wanted to sell? Take a guess, wild guess. Can somebody just take a wild guess? Sorry? 5 million. I said a wild guess. 150 million. Now Lekki land now. Yeah. Bought it way back then. 90 naira a plot. 90 naira. Say that time na bush now. Say you don't even see the land when he pay. He didn't see the land when he paid for it because he couldn't get to in a swamp. But 150 million. That's what he wants to sell. One, because he lives on one. The compound was into the 2 plots. Now wanted to sell 150 million. Imagine that. Put 90 naira for bank, even for 100 years. Does it come close to that? So you see, these are the kind of things you will let a prospect know. That's how it works with land. I'm sure sometimes they will tell us, that place I bought from you last year, still be bush, you won't know what to say. The man has made a good investment. Real estate, they go down. So, please, we need to know how to respond to certain kinds of questions. Always define the next steps. I always say this thing. When you're talking to a prospect, let them know the steps that discussion is going to go. From the day one you met that prospect. Remember I said, you haven't done sales before, you're just coming into sales for the first time. Ginger yourself. You stand in front of your mirror and you address yourself. You practice your sales pitch. You meet that person in church, in the office, on the road, at a club, anywhere, and you talk to the person first. And the discussion went smoothly and beautifully. The next thing is follow up. You don't know what next to do. This art of follow up now, always define the next steps. Says, from the day one you're meeting a prospect, let the person know. I'll be, after this meeting, I'll take your WhatsApp. You see, if you ask people for their number, they have the tendency to say no. They'll deflect. But if you tell them, rather than me telling you about it, let me send it to your WhatsApp so you can see all the offerings. It's easier for them to give you their numbers in that circumstance because they see that, okay, you're going to add value to me. I don't know if you guys understand this. When you ask people outright for their numbers, they usually find a way to deflect. But if you tell them, I want to send you things that, what I've been talking about, I'll send them to you. Give me your WhatsApp number. WhatsApp number is still a mobile number, B. That's what you should say. So, learn the art of asking for WhatsApp numbers. People's WhatsApp number is more active. How did I get here? Okay. Now, you see, not clearly defining the next steps in the processes. From the minute you're talking to a client for the first time, tell him that I'll send you WhatsApp. I'll send my flyers and information to you on WhatsApp. You review it. I'll follow up with you in the next 3 days, in the next 2 days. Give them time to digest and go through. But be clear, I'm following up with you in the next 2 days, in the next 3 days. After which, you convey your decision to me. And then, if you like what I have sent to you, we'll go for inspection. What days would you like to go for that inspection? You're going to Ekpe, right? You ask the person, when you like what I have sent to you, we'll go for inspection. What days would you like to go? Okay, if maybe you're talking to the person on a Monday, says, after I leave here or later today, I'll send you, all the information on WhatsApp so that you can go through. I'll call you by Wednesday or I'll reach out to you by Wednesday. By Wednesday, so if you like it, we're looking at going for inspection by Thursday or Friday. We can go for inspection by Thursday and close the deal so that after the inspection, because on Thursday that you're coming for that inspection, we're leaving from our office. You come to the office, we'll have our vehicle, we'll take you. The vehicle is very fine, it has AC, so you don't bother about cost of going to Ekpe and back. Just get to the office. We'll take you to inspection, you return. Then the subscription form, which I would have sent to you, probably by Wednesday, where you say you like it, you would have filled it, or I print out a hard copy for you. So that when we go for inspection, we'll come back on time, so that we'll stop at the office, complete the form, and then we can close out on the transaction. Do you see? When you give the person the steps, so when you're not asking the person for the sale, they're not shocked because you've already given them a timeline of things you're going to do. Because a lot of people are shy. You've done this, you've talked to them first, done the follow-up. The person has said, I like your property. You've gone for inspection, and now you're, hey, how do I ask this person to pay? Make it be like saying that the money and they always ask for. Now, money you make you kind of business. So. Shame no they help anybody for sales. So you have to be able to take that move. Ask for it. If you don't, you get nothing. That person likes your land already. So why would you ask him to pay? You see, example, if the prospect says they need time to discuss your offer with their team, agree. And let them know that you are going to follow up with them in a week or two so that you can give them time to discuss. I'd like to follow up, and I want to discuss with somebody, my friend, my spouse, my colleague, my brother, my sister. I want to discuss with them about this decision. Remember, buying land is not a small decision to make. Once you've done that, you give them that time. And when that time you have given them has elapsed, please reach out to them. Don't leave it. Set yourself a reminder. If you can set a reminder on your phone, fine, do so. If you have a diary, use your diary, set it on that day. I have to follow up with XYZ prospects and do the follow-up actually. Now, you have to try and be as specific as possible, especially with people who are busy. If you can say, I'll call you next week, that is not good enough. Next week can be any day from Sunday to Saturday. But if you're saying, I'll call you on Wednesday, 10 a.m., that's very specific, right? The person will be able to say, oh, on Wednesday I have a meeting by 10 a.m. But by that, I should be done with that meeting by 12 noon. So call me between 12 to 12:30. You see, that person has given you an appointment. And how did you get that appointment? If you had just said, when should I follow up with you, sir? He said, don't worry, I'll get back to you. That's not good. You should push. How should you push? Tell him. Now, I'll send you things for you to look at. And I'll call you on Wednesday by 9:30. If I'm going to call you on Wednesday by 9:30, you know. When you see my call on Wednesday 9:30, you will remember that I said I will call you. I already have an appointment with you to call you by 9:30. So, and by that 9:30, I put a call through to you. It's your own duty now to take up the phone and respond to me. But if you know that 9:30 on Wednesday is not good for you, you should be able to tell me that, no, Wednesday I'll be out of town. Call me by Tuesday before I travel, or I'll be back by Thursday, then you can call me Friday morning. That's okay. Tuesday morning or Tuesday morning by 8 a.m. Will that be fine, sir? Says, yes, it is fine. You have an appointment. Don't leave your money on the table for any reason. When you're following up with people, be clear. Remember, it's very, very easy. Define next steps. Define it from day one that you're speaking to a prospect. I sell real estate. My name is Angelo. The lands I have for your interest is at Ekwe. I'm going to send the information to your email or to your WhatsApp so that you can go through. Today is Tuesday. I'll follow up with you by Thursday. I'm giving you, I send on Tuesday, later today. I'm giving you Wednesday to go through it. I'll follow up with you by Thursday. By Thursday, 10 a.m., I'll call you, sir, or I'll send you a message. And if I send you a message, by that time, you would have taken a decision on the property. That's what I'm telling the client now. You should have taken a decision on the property. If you like it by Thursday, can we go for inspection? I'm still talking to him. If you like it by Thursday, if I find out whether you like it, can we go for inspection by Friday or Saturday? Give him options. But don't give him option to choose a date or a time that he will go and throw it in next 2 weeks. Try and keep your time close. If you like it, by Thursday when I call you and you like it, can you be available for inspection on a Friday or on a Saturday? I need to, and before he says anything, say, I need to know ahead, sir, so that I can book for inspection for you at the office. Because it's usually done by pre-booking. So a reasonable person hears this will say, oh, these guys are organized though. And even you talking to them, they know that you have everything well arranged. And I'll also send you subscription form to complete. But however, if you're not able to print it out, on the date of the inspection, I'll come with a form, a physical one for you. Because you may not see the person until that day of the inspection. I'll print out one and bring it along with me, just in case. So if the person is too busy and unable to print out the soft copy, but he has an opportunity to go through it and see the sort of information required of him or her, then when he now says, oh, let's do that inspection on a Saturday. Saturday, fine. If that is fine, sir, that's fine, man. The vehicle will move from the office by 10 a.m. All you have to do is, I'll call you up in the morning. If I have to meet you somewhere, that is fine. That's one thing I always do I'm telling people what I do with my prospects, if I want to take them for inspection. Because sometimes they'll tell you they will come, but they are not, you see, it's not easy to leave your home to move for something like to go and check out land. So I ginger them, I tell them, if you like, I'll come close to your area so that we can move from your place together to the office. I make that offer because you're offering to be there. It will ginger them to move faster. Otherwise, some of them will just take their time. The time will just go. They say, time is already gone. Let's keep it for another day. But because that sale is important to you, you make that offer. 7 a.m., if the person stays at the mainland, let us say the person stays at Surulere, for instance. Say by 7 a.m., I will be at Surulere. I'll be at Stadium. So I meet up with you and we'll come from there. We'll come. Say, but you're staying on the island now. Why are you coming all the way to mainland to take? Say, sir, you're my prospect. I need to make this very easy for you. Do you know why you should do that? Because sometimes some people, they've agreed that they will go for inspection. On that day, they just get cold feet. So you offer, if possible, go to their house. When you reach their house, they know that, the game don't set. It's not easy for me to wiggle out of this one. But if you're a lady, no go lie on house like that too. But guess what? You can also go with a colleague. Take somebody along with you. Let them know at the office that, if it is something there's enough space, or that person is there for the purpose of going to the house and all of you coming. Once you reach the office, that person will drop you and the client with the vehicle, with the company vehicle, will proceed for inspection. Do you see? If the person will tell you to come, by the time you're talking to a person, you should have known what is likely to be asked of you. Now, that's the way they interact with you. Remember, as a salesperson, you are supposed to be a mind reader to an extent. You should anticipate what your prospect would ask for. And besides, you guys have been conversing. You've been interacting. So you know how he interacts. Do you understand? You know how he interacts or she interacts. So you have an idea whether he would likely say come inside. Then you carry somebody, follow body, go now. So, but at the end of the day, you offering and going to meet the person will prevent that person from getting cold feet. So, always define next steps and be specific when you're giving appointments. If you're talking to a client, if the client says, let's talk again next week, say when next week? Tuesday, 9 a.m., will that be good for you, sir? Subject lines matter. If you're following up by email, SMS, WhatsApp, the subject line can make or break the success of your follow-up. Senior executives and decision makers have hundreds, if not thousands. Do you know why subject lines matter? Now, if you're going through your email, maybe you'll be looking at the first line of the things. If the first line don't make sense to you, you ignore. So that subject matter, it's very important. If it's something that is attention grabbing, you will open it and read further. But if it's not something that is attention grabbing, you will simply scroll past. That's the same thing that happens on WhatsApp. All of us have WhatsApp groups and messages that we don't even bother with. Except that first line makes sense. So think and think again before you type anything to send. If whatever you're going to type cannot grab attention, go back, think about it. Because if you're not doing anything that can grab attention, it's easy to simply scroll past your message. That message is important to you, but you also need to convey its importance to the prospect. Now, if you just do something like, I'm just checking in or follow up, no matter where immediately they see and they don't move. But if you put something like new information on Lagos State lands, the person will open it. And then you're doing follow-up, but you're mixing it by giving new information. You're telling the person now that, a new lane is the road construction from Ekpe down to Lekki is almost reaching completing stage, and this will cause prices of property in that axis to go high. So it is best if you can take a decision to invest now. Do you see? That new information on Lagos State lands took his attention. That's what grabbed his attention, because he wants to know they don't demolish again, waiting don't happen again. And then he's now going through and seeing that information. And he's saying, yes, that's true. And this person that sent me this message actually even told me about land at Ekpe. And then he begins to consider it seriously. So the next time a message comes from you, maybe imagine the person gets, after the first meeting, gets the first message from the second WhatsApp message and the third one. And in each of those messages, he's getting value. Anytime he sees any mail from you, he will open it. Because he knows it's not going to come empty. It's not going to come with follow-up. I just want to check in. Wait till they check in now. Give him value. Now land you won't sell. Face that business. Give him value and let that person see what you can do for them. The most important thing to do is to personalize your subject line by using the recipient's name. One study shows that this increased open rates around 29%. When a mail, the first line is addressed to you, it becomes personal. I'm sending a WhatsApp message to Tokwe and I put her name in the first line. She will want to know why I mentioned her name now, Abi. So she's most likely to actually click on it and open the message and read. But if it's just generic, easy, she can bypass it, even if the thing contains crucial information. But because I did not try to grab attention, it can be bypassed easily. Keep it brief. Your prospects are busy people. You have to know that. They do not have time for long phone calls, rambling emails, endless meetings. Cut to the chase. Don't waste people's time. Yes, they might not be doing anything with it, but I don't get the time. Not be your own, not the waste time. An email follow-up should be no more than 6 lines in total length. Same thing goes for WhatsApp. If you're sending somebody WhatsApp, that's why I always tell us something. You see, a lot of times, some of these social media platforms, they will limit the number of words you can type. Or they will tell you, you can only have a maximum of 300 characters. By the time you type 300 characters, you know we'll reach 6 lines. So, you know we'll reach 6 lines. The number of characters you can utilize is limited. So what do? Make sure when you're sending people follow-up emails, follow-up WhatsApp, or whatever it is you're sending to them, make sure it is brief. I favor bullet points. Each line, straight to the point, has value. That way, whenever the person sees any message from you, he's most likely to open it. Because he knows you're not a time waster. If something is not adding value, you're not likely to send to them. Your follow-up should not be more than 6 lines. And then, doesn't sound very long, Abi? That's because it isn't. You have only a short time frame to grab your prospect's attention and make them want to take action. So, be direct. Nothing beats the direct approach. That's why I said something. That when you have gone even for inspection and you're coming, let the prospect know, okay, if we go for inspection, since we start from the office, we'll get back to the office. Once we get back to the office, we'll complete the form. So are you going to be doing a transfer? You know, instead of you to answer, when we don't want to pay, ask a question like, are you going to be doing a transfer or are you giving a check? You know, the person is not thinking of whether to pay or not. He'll be thinking, how do I pay? Do you see the difference? You are directing the person to the way and the direction you want, not leaving anything to chance. Know when to stop is the next thing. You can't keep following up forever. At a certain point, it becomes aggressive, pushy, or just pointless. You know, say, you get people who be say, go, no go, come, no come. At some point, even if you don't know before, you get some people, you see, now Abuja, now those ones full pass. Then they Lagos, but then place the pass for Abuja. Somebody fit the drive Range Rover. In no get house. Oh, and I don't know. In a drive Range Rover, now you get the range. No be saying another, now you get time. You know. They wear flashy clothes, good perfume. He not get, that's as in house where they even rent to live in. He not get in the spot. Imagine you're following up with such a person. You see the Range Rover, I believe, say, things go happen. Hey, you don't hammer. Do you understand? As the more you interact with a person, at some point, some things, you know, it's like an onion. The more the relationship moves ahead, the onion will peel, Abi. At some point, you now see, say, this one, Abi go give her money. You know that kind of thing, you're following, you have been backing up the wrong tree. At that point, you need to let go. But if it's a prospect who truly has money and probably has never had the chance or hasn't really considered what you want, you see, such prospects you don't let go. It might take them months or even years to never let go of such prospects. Remember, you have to know when to stop. If you discover any of these things at that point, just cut it off, take your losses and move on. But like I said, there are prospects who actually can do what they said. It might sound outlandish, but what you do not do is do not spend money on them. Let that move come on its own. It will get to the point where it will happen. Don't spend before you get the gratification. It's easy enough. Okay, I need transport from here to here. You give another one. Let that one be the loss you're going to encounter. Like, I like the fact that you told him all you had is 3K. Because you didn't want to appear like, let it now be because I didn't give him anything. That's why the deal went bad. If he takes a 3K, it can't kill you. Do you understand me? So you have to put it at that level. So, when enough is enough, it's hard to say because it depends on the circumstances. Every situation of selling differ. No two sales experience are the same. No two, even with the same client. The first one might be smooth, the second one might not be. First one might be very difficult, then the next ones will be smooth. At some point, at every point you're trying to close a deal, whether you sold to that person before or not, you need to really be careful and circumspect because anything can trigger it. Sometimes the transaction will be going on very well. One relative will now come from nowhere. And let me go and check out this land. Maybe let me just escort you to go to this inspection. The day they are coming for inspection. So everything has been working well. The relative or the friend or the sister or something follows them for inspection. They now reach there. Oh yeah, don't you? And the person has been liking the thing, wants to even pay after the inspection. Now say, why you won't buy land for this kind of place? Ma, carry you go where you will see everything. You will get 6 plots for 1 million. And that person probably is someone he listens to. That's how your sale is in problem. If your prospect comes with somebody to inspection or to the office, as you're paying attention to your prospects, it pays you and it will be in your best interest to keep that person in your view all the time. Don't know if I'm making sense. Because many times it's the person they bring that spoils your deal. Or the person they send. That one, in fact, is so crazy. Do you know why they spoil your deal? Because they don't have an agreement with you. Whenever you're faced with a situation of sharing commission, man tell you more than shareable. You will lose. Better you get the tail of a cow than you lose the entire thing. So give people value. It works. And if they send somebody, find what you will do for that person that is representing them. Because that's the one that will make or mar that business. If somebody sends a rep and that business doesn't happen, know that person will come that inspection, now he kill him. And he kill him because couldn't connect with you. Because they see that they are not getting value. If I tell them transactions will not happen when I don't give people money, make them come inspection, and I go sure. But at the end of the day, how much are all of those things? If I close one transaction, that is coins, you don't reach anything. It's the mindset you operate with. That's what will help you. So whenever your prospect is coming for inspection and is coming with somebody, don't look whether that person they frown or whether they laugh too much. Pay close attention. Now there your business free from spoil or free from good. Endear that person to you. In fact, Focus more on that person and not your prospect, because you already have won your prospect for your prospect to be coming for inspection. Focus on that other person. I don't know if I'm making sense. Don't be afraid of follow-ups. Now, human being, they talk to, no get to it. Finally, people are afraid of the follow-up stage of the sales process. They fear annoying the prospects. They fear being seen as a spammer or even losing a potential sales due to following up too much. Failing to follow up is one of the quickest ways to lose up to 80% of your potential sales. Once you don't follow up, you're losing up to 80%. Check out, you're losing it and losing it very, very quickly, and it's not a nice feeling at all. Even if you follow up in a certain way and the person says, oh, you're not doing this right, go back, re-strategize, and come back to that person. Yeah, but don't let them be. Stay on them. People like me that they pester them. Oh, it's human nature. People will complain. But if you don't do those things, they'll be like, why? What's wrong? That's how it goes. So don't let up. Oh, let them complain. Tell you you're following up too much. You know they give me breathing. No problem, sir. Patronize me and you rest. Simple. Patronize me, I'll give you a chance. So, if you start to see following up as part of building a relationship with the prospective client, you come to understand its importance and stop being afraid of it. Good luck on your follow-up. And that's the end of today. Do we have questions?